Hello, welcome to my new series about a game that I really enjoy, Battle Knight Cyberpunk. This will be a first in many series, hopefully. I do have a main account that I'll be playing, but I thought it prudent to kind of show a little bit of what the game is actually about, a little bit of the early game, or per se tutorial. I haven't actually ever played beyond a certain point. I decided to kind of get the recording of me playing this game around level 120 because I hear that's when the game really pops off, and my main account is at 114 now, so figured I'd start this series here. This is an early playthrough, so kind of just going through it. It doesn't show what I'm clicking on the screen, but on important stuff I'll go ahead and just say what I'm clicking. So checking the daily sign-in, the online reward thing that's there. This is a kind of a team combat game. There's a ton of them on Google Play Store. I've played a ton of them over all the years, and truthfully this one has been one that I've really enjoyed. I think that it's built very well, it's very balanced, it's very in-depth as far as its abilities and strategies and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I really like it, so I wanted to kind of start making some YouTube videos about it, hopefully get people interested, because I think that they deserve all the good stuff that's coming to them as a company. It's a very anti-whale kind of, like, it doesn't penalize you to spend a lot of money, but it definitely, the way they build the reward systems, or the purchasing reward systems, is the lowest priced item actually gives you the best rewards, and the highest priced item gives you the least rewards as far as bang for buck. So I actually really like that play style, or that developer style. I think it's very good to get a lot of people into the game and not feel completely overwhelmed with people who just spend a bunch of money. And so yeah, anyways, so Battle Knight Cyberpunk. This thing here just gets you a random selection of heroes. The little handbook that's at the very top left there will let you look at all the different heroes. I've personally gone through and pretty much looked at every single little ability. If you click them, it'll give you a description of it all. Every hero has essentially on the far left a passive, next to that an activated ability, next to that things that you can pick for a first passive, second passive, and third passive at the very end, and then you just design your teams based on that. I won't go too far in depth into that at the moment. But this is kind of the backdrop of the area that you play in. And then you've got story mode, PvP, and a bunch of other things, but for now I'll just go ahead and progress through the early game, just so you can see. So you've got sets of 6 teams, or 6 players per team. You got 3 formations you can do, which matters, from what I can tell, mostly for PvP. And the rest of it is just playing through. So I'll go ahead and do a couple fast things here and level some heroes up, because I know that they're strong for progressing through the early game. And then you've got your story mode, nothing too complex. You just got, technology revolution, exhaustion of raw materials, power plants can no longer prosper. Now there are only a few conservatives followers that are still hiding here. So they'll have a little bit of a biography of what's going on, but the story's not that big of a deal. It's not too story driven. It's pretty simple. But you click the battle there and you get to fight like this. Yep. So that is one battle. As far as statistics, after every match you can look and see who's done what overall. It'll have a details tab that'll show you damage. It'll show you, I actually don't know what the blue thing is. I'm assuming it's like rage gained or something, or maybe it's like damage reduction. I'm not really sure, truthfully. And then you've got your right side is healing. Oh, damage taken. It says it right there. I'm stupid. Anyways, and then the question mark there that's on the bottom right of this selection screen will actually show you all of the different buffs and debuffs in the game. And there's like a shit ton of abilities, essentially. So, it's not by no means a simple game. It just plays simply. And then you've got like, if you have 2 of the same type, 3 of the same type kind of a thing, it'll give you extra stuff. So like, for example, if you have 2 machine types, you'll get extra attack. If you have 4 of them, they'll get blood sucking, which is like self-healing for the damage you do. 6 of them will increase crit, and so on and so forth. So I won't, again, go too far into that, because this is just early game stuff. But yeah, so then you progress. I'm just going to kind of quickly progress through all these. You do have a 1 speed, which is like hyper slow, 2 speed, and then the game does allow you to go to 4 speed after you get to a certain point. But there's nothing in like the VIP shop or anything amount of money that's spent that will allow you to go faster or get that ×4 speed quicker. So pretty much it's just once you progress farther enough in the game, they give you the additional speed, which I really like, because again, I think that they designed this game for people who just play it the most will get the most rewards, and the people that are spending a bunch of money will normally, they'll spend a bunch of money, they'll get a really strong team, and then they'll stop playing because they get stuck, because they can't, like, you know, progress because they're not playing the game properly, or, you know. I'm going to go ahead and abandon that. I think my team's too weak for that. But yeah, so it's very anti-whale build. It's one of my first things that I like about Battle Knight. And then I think that the art and the animation and whatnot are very good. So yeah, for this series, especially when I go to my main account, this will just be a preliminary video. I'm going to not really talk a lot when it comes to the actual combat things themselves. I personally just prefer chilling and enjoying the game. So yeah, I'll kind of go through this probably for, you know, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, we'll see, and kind of explain things as they're needed, and then otherwise just, you know, enjoy the game. Alright, so going back to the Bees Club there, which is going to let me hire. These hires give you the ability to get, you know, better characters and stuff. And since this is early game, I will go ahead and just spend gems to get this. You never would want to do that if you're being serious, but I'll just do that for now. Smart sell these. And go back. Like that. Go back to my team. Oops. Can't I edit the team? That's weird. Oh well. Now the bottom right there is where you upgrade stuff, where the little green arrow is. I'm clicking that a bunch. And they also have the 1 key add-ons or removes. You can manually click stuff to replace. There we go. But I'll go into an explanation a little more once. What this chick is, we're gonna do those like that. There we go. Okay. Ooh. Alright, and I will go ahead and just kind of blast through this. If you yourself want to, or are playing, you can kind of listen to what it's explaining, but I'll essentially do an abbreviated version of it. So when you kill stuff, you can obviously get gear, and that gear is going to have various stats. These, for example, this one is like, there's like gray, green, blue, purple, orange, and like red. As far as like the tier statuses, it'll say like what it does, the attack percentage there, or HP increase, defense increase, pretty simple stuff. There'll be extra things that gets more complex, but I'll more or less just kind of jump into that on the main account when I go back to that. Let's get another hero, get another thing. I'll kind of do a team explanation, especially for like beginning games, in case anyone actually does start playing, of a simple team that you can build. But I'll do that after I get my first purple character. Which they do guarantee, guarantee a purple one after like 21 of those little like coin pulls. My team might actually win this. I hope so, but this guy might kill it. Never mind. Nice. Okay. So I think I'll do 2 more here. One more attack. There we go. Okay, so one of the other aspects of the game is upgrading the hero star, which will allow it to, activate their abilities. One of the other things, which is going to show here, is going to be, for example, the PvP, basic arena combat stuff. Obviously, anyone that I'm fighting here is going to be way higher level than what I would normally be able to be, because, I'm playing on a relatively new/old server, even though it's new, it's been out for quite a while, so everyone's going to be much stronger, but they will have a bunch of bots for the first few, and then you'll run into actual players. And the player counts actually stay pretty consistent no matter how many servers they seem to open up, so there's always seems to be about, I want to say like 150, 300 people at most, and then it kind of dies down to, let's say, probably 100 active. And there might be actually more than that, but that's just what it tends to feel like. There's like 4 full clads that are, pardon me, totally active. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to do that one time to show. Oops. I could claim a reward there. Not everything's as obvious as to where you need to click or whatnot. This little, like, for example, question mark box, very low underneath the Bees Club. It's right next to the ship. If you click that, it'll be like the newbies thing, and it'll kind of explain some ideas for teams and stuff like that here. You might get rewards if you do it. So kind of view it more as like a discover it yourself kind of a game. So I'm going to go ahead and do the... I think I need 3 more of those, yeah. 2. Alright. Get out of here. So the game will also, if you are planning to spend money, the game will give you a couple of these things. I personally would recommend playing through to like, I don't know, like level 60 to 80 before you start like playing. So I'd make like a mock account that you're just going to play through the level to see how the game actually works. And then from there, if you actually want to get serious about playing the game, I'd restart it and buy what you know you should use. I can like go into in-depth and like strategies and stuff, but if you're just playing to check it out, don't spend your money. Just, you know, play it normally and see how the pace goes. You can progress pretty far with a couple of teams that I'll show without spending any money, so, you know. I'm gonna actually go here and get one of these. So every 15 of these senior hires is what they're called. You'll be able to get a perfect hire, and perfect hires, the ability to what you pick from them changes depending on the events and stuff. Right now it's where you get to select the little like plus box at the very top, and you can pick from a selection of heroes. There's a lot of really good options if you're planning to like play long term, but for someone that's actually kind of broken by themselves, there's this guy in the middle here. This one here that I found is actually really strong beginning game. This dude right here. So if you can happen to get him magically, normally it takes like 12. Holy shit, that never happens. I mean, this isn't the best hero, but Raphael, you never get like a purple character right off the bat like that. Oh wow, that's so weird. That's so funny. He's like the best PvE healer, especially early game in the game, so that's actually super hilarious. This guy's broken. I can't believe that just happened. That's so crazy. That's wild. Okay, so I'm going to level him up. I'm going to level this guy up here because he's really good. And then I'm actually going to go over some of the talent stuff. So, okay, abilities. If you select your heroes where it says talents and skills, this guy says at the start of each round, recover 5% of his maximum HP to one of our units with the lowest health and add 1 healing prayer. Healing prayer will not be consumed by pursuit, kill, and dot damage. The next damage suffered will be converted into health is what healing prayer is. And then he has an ability that gives somebody a regen amount. I'm not going to explain every single little detail. I'll just kind of paraphrase it. If you actually want to play the game and like go into it, then you're more than welcome to, but it's a lot of reading, so I'm not going to do that on a video. That's too much. So, alright, I'm going to go ahead and do the fights, but I will slow it down so you can see. So that plus on your characters, when a mob hits it, it heals for the damage they do, so it essentially just avoid 1 attack is what it does, and it does that every single turn. So especially against like bosses later down the line, they'll like hit super freaking hard, and that healing that he does is incredibly good. Yeah. And he'll always put it on the lowest health hero too. So that's the other thing, is it prioritizes, it stacks. It doesn't stack, but it you can have multiple ones on different heroes at all times. Alright, we'll go here. Whew. God, I can't believe that happened. Dude, normally I've literally opened like, I don't know, like 50 different beginner accounts just to test the odds of like the whatnot, and I think I've only had 2 out of like 50 early game epics, and there's only been 1 that's actually been good. So this is the second time I've had an actual good, useful epic right off the bat. Crazy. Nice. We live because of the raw file guy. Okay, and then this fast search here is a general rule of thumb. That's the kind of right to the left of the battle thing. That fast search gives you your percentage just as regular search rewards. You generally want to wait till you're as high or far as progressed as possible, because every like, it has like 5 here and 10 here. Every reward it'll increase by a bit, but I'm going to go ahead and do it now just so I can kind of progress quickly. Just to kind of more or less show some of the other aspects of the game. So this here is another thing. This is going to be called Shielded Mine. All it is a game mode where you fight progressive mobs and whatnot, sort of like an endless tower, and you get items in it and upgrade resources that allow you to further customize your teams. So it is a very important part of the game. There's nothing in the game that's useless. Like, every single part of the game is actually important for like building unique customization for your team and stuff. So nothing's deliberately built to be like dragging or annoyingly long. So that's one of the plus things of this game, is that like once you progress pretty far, and then it'll slow down, but then it's pretty much like nothing you're doing in the game is going to be useless. So you're not wasting your time just like, you know, trying to do 700 attacks to get +1 resource. It's just like, you know, progress as far as you can, and then as you level and, you know, participate in events, you'll be able to get past the roadblocks of various PvE or PvP teams that prevent you from progressing, and then, you know, keep going forward. So and all of the stuff once you get like higher level is very quick. Like, you can on day reset probably do everything you need to do per se in like 30 minutes, and you don't have to really log in. Like, you can keep logging in because, again, you can kind of maximize, min-max everything and like slowly progress slightly faster than everyone else. But at the end of the day, you don't really have to. You just need to spend like, you know, like 30 minutes at most playing the game, and you're pretty set once you get used to what you need to do. So they make it pretty convenient for people. I just like to get on it because I enjoy the game. I like thinking about team comps and stuff. I'll do, I think, 5 more. Actually, I think I'll try to get as far as I... no, never mind. These are level 15s. I forgot. I think I'll do 1 more after this, and then keep going to the story mode. Alright, I'll be right back while this one's playing. Maybe I'll do one more. I don't know if I can beat this team, but I'm gonna give it a try. Oh. I still can't believe I got Raphael. That's so crazy. Oh, he's such a good hero. He's like the best healer in the game for PvE. That's so crazy. I can't believe I did that. Oh, that's never happened. It's so lucky. It's unbelievably lucky. Like, he makes some of the tanks and stuff and progression so incredible. So, like, I guess I'm kind of locked in to build a beginner series now, because you can't throw that kind of a luck away. That's ridiculous. Good lord. Okay. I can't. Oh wow, this is so crazy. All right. God, I can't believe that. Okay, so what am I doing here? The beginner stuff. I need to do that. Always. So these events things here. There's always rotating events going on. So on the bottom right of the screen where it has the 2 dice, you click that and it'll open them up. Again, once you play like to like level 60 to 80 or whatever, you'll kind of get a good grasp of how the events work and stuff. And so I would recommend, again, don't spend money until you've played a bit of the game and then restart. Just because you can waste a lot of money. It's good to calculate what's good for you. I would always say, just if you're going to spend any money, buy the like smallest amounts. So like these premium daily rewards on each event are generally the best, and then maybe the first one, maybe the second limited things. But unless you've got like millions of dollars to waste, there's no reason to buy the $100 ones or anything like that. It's just you don't get as much for the rewards, and you can do your own calculations if you want, but if you just go through, it's just like you get less resources for spending more. And that's by design. The game does that on purpose. Okay. And then let's go back to this. I'm gonna do a few more of these. Okay, so this one should give me another epic, I believe. And it's not a bad epic. It's not the best, but it's not bad. I'll go ahead and apply to join guilds. Being in a guild is incredibly important in this. If you're playing for serious on a server, find the most active guild. You can click this at the very top right of the screen, there's this trophy. Click that, and it'll show you like the highest level, the highest chapter, the highest power. Popularity is just where like people who are getting friends invite stuff, and then the mine, which is the thing we were just doing, and then your guild power and whatnot. But find active guilds, like let's say the top 5 or top 10, and try to get into those. Let's see here. Or just create one yourself if you plan to be the strongest player on the server, whichever you prefer. But you do need to be actives. And you can do like a refresh here and request on additional ones if you haven't already. So do it like 3 times and you're good to go. Okay. So next thing is we're going to add our heroes. So we're going to make this guy that. We're going to go like that. Actually, you know what? I'm actually going to make... No, I think I'll put him there. There we go. Okay. Okay. What we're going to do is we're actually going to level this guy up just because he's so good. The next highest armor. So it's actually... Okay. Okay, and I'm gonna go back. I don't know if I can... I'm going to the garage thing there. You can smart disassemble stuff. Let's see, what is this, 100? I'll just do the 10s. You select him, and then, it'll say consume, and, you consume the resources. I am going to assume that whoever's watching this has played, like, these types of games before, so I'm not going to like go into super in depth about everything because I don't think that's really necessary. If you want to know more about it, you can Google it and figure it out yourself. This is more just to show you the basics of it. And these, there we go. So the bottom and the very top are those passives that happen when you have the same type of heroes there. So you can kind of pause or read it there. And then I'll show you. So the enemy team has that. My team has these. And you can put your finger down on the screen to see it when you're in the app. Right, that was pretty easy. What time is it? 9 something. All right. Alrighty, so this next thing is just another like mini event resource thing. Again, I'm not going to go into all of the details about how this works or what the best strategies are, just because this is a basic playthrough tutorial. But pretty much this is used for event resources. I would just accept whatever it currently shows and save up your resources that let you refresh it or, you know, reselect it and stuff like that until the actual event. And then when you use it, you get rewarded for using it. Same is true for what's called the arcade and a couple other things that'll show up later as you progress in level. Right, so we're going to fight this. Jesus Christ. Freaking killed my tank. Kind of close. Alright. So we're just claiming rewards for progressing to the next level. Generally, it's good to do that. And then if you're playing for serious, I'm going to go to this thing called the store. Click that. The best use of gems is actually this 3,000 for 3 perfect hire. I've done all the calculations. It's just the best way. So, just you can do the calculations yourself if you want, or just take my word for it. But the best use of gems is the perfect hire ones there. The only exception to that is if you are specifically trying to get rewards for an event, and you can. There are certain things in this game that you can spend gems on that will randomly appear that will be slightly better. So, for example, in this thing that says winner there, and this thing that is unlocked there, those two will give you options that will, when you're playing through them, be able to spend like 900 gems instead of 1,000 per perfect hire. Only in those instances do you do it. Otherwise, nothing else is really worth spending gems on. So you can just save your gems for that. For the basic store thing. Another thing that's actually pretty useful, if you go to this friends thing here, it's on the bottom left, you can do search, and just when you first start, just hit add to everything. And then, I don't think you can, you can come back to that every so often. Don't have anything, okay. And then I'm going to go back to store. These are all the different tabs. You got Dawn Cinema, Hyperspace, Arena, Friend, Hero, and Special. Figure out for yourself what is good to spend your money on. I'm sure as you progress and play, that's something that can be figured out. Okay. Right. We're going to go to these guys. Nothing good there. Quick sell everything. Can look for an evolve. Perfect. I can get a slightly higher level of this hero. So this here, I guess I should explain this. This is one of the main things that lets you progress your characters. So this is the evolve tab. If you go through, you can find out what heroes are like worth evolving and whatnot. A simple tip is this hero here called Phoebe is a must early game character, especially free to play. Always get this hero. This one has abilities that lets her tank very well. Another hero that's, let me see here, easy to get is this Pole. So Pole is one you want to get if you're free to play. Phoebe is one you want to get. This chick here you can get as well, or this chick here. So Charlotte or a Zhao. This guy here, Harp, is a must. If you are early game progressing and spending absolutely no money at all, this character here, Patroclus, is probably the best hero in the game. If you don't have any of the like actual normal like strong characters, and the reason for that is because his ability, if you go to hero right there, or no, hold on. What am I doing? Oh, here we go. Okay, so if you level his stuff up, which I'm going to do because it's important, and he'll get more abilities when you get him to purple. But this one here, Crush, makes him deal 3% direct damage of current health to targets. Once you get 50 of these upgrade hero points, which will happen pretty quickly, he does percentile damage of their maximum health. So that's super, super strong against PvE targets that are much higher than you. And so he's probably the best free to play and easy to get character, and you should have 2 of them in your front line every single time because he's just that damn strong. So that's my first advice to peoples. Let's go ahead and just put that chick in because why not? I'll go ahead and level these guys up, the ones I'm actually keeping. Okay, and then same thing, just put gear on heroes. There we go. And then keep progressing. So that chick that I just had did a silence on the character, so it won't be able to do any attacks. Special attacks, rage attacks, these are called in this game. So I'm pausing here, well, I guess I won't pause, but on my main guy, that guy that's in the front, he has regen on him. It's little hearts. And then he also has a thing that looks like a plus sign or a star, red star, and that prevents his healing from being as effective. So if you go to this tab here, you can kind of see it. Where's it at? He had regeneration, so on the right side there with the heart that says the up arrow. And then he also had... Where's it at? You know, I probably passed it, whatever. A thing that makes it so you get less recovery or healing. I'm actually going to go ahead and use one to get my levels faster quickly. Perfect. Arcade is unlocked. Okay, so this is another thing that opens up, is the arcade. This here is going to be something that's pretty much you save your pieces. You do 2 dailies for the mandatory reward for your daily stuff, and then you just save them up for an event. I recommend saving up your coins until you get to 800 because you get the maximum number of perfect tires that way, which perfect tires are pretty much one of the most essential things in order to upgrade your heroes, because it takes a lot of repeat heroes to upgrade your heroes. Yeah, and then let's see, what else do I need? Gold Rush, Arena, Mining. Okay, so I just need to level up. So I'm going to do this again. Alright, so this next thing is called 24-Hour Fitness. This is that thing where it says advanced training. I can't do it to level 80, but that's where you'll be able to go and like find opportunities to spend better ratios of your essentially currency for items, and that's the only time that you should spend your diamonds for something besides the perfect tire in the basic store. Alright, and then once you attack at one time, you this is a resource that I'm doing, the Hero XP. Same thing as the other thing, it's a resource here that's coin. This is a resource to upgrade your armor, and then you can just hit the lightning arrow to do all the attacks instantly, so it makes it really easy. Finding more rewards. Gotta complete a bounty task. Oops. Time is that? 48 seconds? 40 seconds or 48 minutes? 40 minutes, okay. I'm going to do a couple arena attacks. So I'll click through here and do it real fast. You can hit a skip button. So on the bottom right, there's a skip button. So a lot of some things you can't skip. You have to manually like go through an attack, or not attack. What am I saying? Wait for the combat to go through, but other things you can skip. So if you know you're going to win or you don't have a reason to watch, you can always just hit the skip and move forward. So it makes progression a little faster and easier, especially if you've played before. Alright, so boom. And then in the early game, most of the stuff, like the arena, the arcades, the mine, gear progression, everything is relatively important to do consistently. But there comes a point where, like, you know, I'm almost level 120. You don't have to do all of that stuff constantly, but any of the things that you do still have to do, you can essentially skip through, like hit the skip button, or like just quickly do them so it doesn't take a lot of time, which is nice. I can't join clan just yet. Complete bounty. Okay. Alright, so I am going to stop that here. just because I don't want to go through too much and kill my whole phone up. But that's a kind of very preliminary starter game of this game here. Just showing some of the combats, a little more so looking at like the art and stuff of it. Alright. But yeah, I'll offline show a little bit more of this here. I will go ahead, I'm going to call this one Mini Godson because that's the character name of my main thing. I'll go ahead and show like a full team like in the progressed game, just to kind of make it a little more clear where the progression goes. So, alright, so for example, if we're going, clicking the bottom right there to the back streets, starting left to right, you've got at the very top Imperium Arena. This will show you like high-end players from various old servers and stuff like that that compete against each other. You can kind of like look at their teams. You can't click on any of it, but you can see the facial like portraits of the characters to kind of match them and figure out what teams are, you know, most used or what characters are most used. Again, at the top is the arena. That's just where you fight everyone. I happen to be the strongest character in the server. I do have a weak team setup on there, just a couple of heroes, just so people can try to play against it, because one of my characters called Arachna on my main team is someone that everyone that's playing seriously runs. So I have it there so that this server and my clan essentially can practice against it, but as an example, I'll show you a fight against me. We'll go 2-speed. And I'm the one on the right side. And you can kind of see, like, when you get higher level, there's, like, all the freaking buffs are showing on the character. Like, it's hard to know as a new player what the heck's even going on, but once you actually play through, you'll know what the icons, you know, mean and stuff like that, so... And weirdly enough, this guy on the left side, he's actually in my clan, G's Lois. He has one of the better, stronger PvP teams on the server. Definitely not like strongest in the clans that we're fighting against, but he has a very strong PvP team. But I do have a combo myself that I'm running that is super, super strong. I'll go ahead and speed it up a little bit here. So it is very hard for players to get through even half of my team. But I won't, I'll go into depth of what my team actually is in other videos later down the line. Alrighty. And yeah, so he lost against my team. But yeah, so you can click, you get rewards for doing the achievements and the daily rewards, seasonal rewards and whatnot. You can see win streaks. Oh, that's a new player. Who is this guy? A-Man. What was his power? 5,000? A-Man. I don't see him. I keep an eye out for people that might happen to be joining onto a server so I can like recruit them into my clan if anyone AFKs and whatnot, but okay. Anyways, back to what we're doing. Backstreet. So if I go here, the North Arena, this here again is just part of events and stuff, so you can refresh them, select, you get rewards for each of them. You can do the smart loads, which will show you on the left there if you put in the requirements in that are needed to get the additional rewards. The garage is part of actual character progression. This will have your gear. You can disassemble your gear. You can forge gear if you have it. And then the store, I already showed that there. Let's see, I already showed the hire. I already showed the market. Arcade. Already showed the arcade. This here, the advanced training, is an element of the game where you get to like essentially go through levels and stuff and do different things so you can get additional rewards. Like this is one that, 900 gold for one of these perfect hires I was saying is the best thing. You can fight other players in this, or mobs that you have to do a certain amount of damage to get the reward, but that's another thing there. This is the shielded mine, so this is higher level rewards you can get from it essentially. Each one of these things, you start like really low level and get just basic stuff, but you eventually get to what these things, which are I forget, they're called like Harlems or whatever the hell, but each one of them has an ability. So for example, this one here, if you have 2 of them on a character, you increase the attack by 5% and accuracy by 20%. If you have 4 of them, you have a chance to stun a target. If you have 6 of them, it increases attack more and accuracy as well for a certain amount of time. So you can kind of like get an idea of what to aim for based on how you want to build your team. So that's one element of uniqueness in the game. This here just upgrades those things, makes them stronger. And then this here is a seasonal thing that you can essentially progress. It only goes to like 3 or 20 rounds, but you fight other teams and progress. This version of it is more or less against bots because it's just pre-designed teams that you have to pick your stuff for, so I won't really go into that. This is another resource tab thing here that you go through. So you'll have Dawn Cinema, which is a resource. You'll have BCPD, that's a resource for events. And you'll have Arcade, which is a resource for events. So you always want to save those up for actual character progression. The Kato Garage is important. The Shield Mine is character progression, and then actual like character leveling and character stars is going to be both the Bees Club and the Gray Market here. So this is the Bees Club is where you get the actual heroes and select them. The Gray Market is where you evolve them and get them to higher levels. So for example, my hero, we'll say Arachna. You have Arachna, it requires 3 purple Arachnas and 2 of her own class to upgrade her. Once she's to a orange, or not orange, red, it takes a level 3 Arachna, a level 1 orange, or non-run orange, 1 more green, and then, or green, purple, and then another orange there. So there's some character progression there. And as far as abilities are concerned, so back to the Arachna hero, you've got Awaken, and these are like, you select them and you click the hero to put it in there, and then once you do that, you can select this and upgrade it, and the upgrade is then going to be in the orange text, and from there it'll upgrade the hero, and you'll eventually be able to press your hero super strong. The only other thing will be exclusive equipments and the gear. So for example, there are certain equipments made for heroes that do special stuff. I won't go super in depth into my team itself. This is just a preliminary video, again, just showing everyone kind of the idea of the game, and how it progresses and the customization that's within it. But as far as figuring out how in-depth the game actually is, if you go to the Bees Club and you hit that little book on the very top left, it'll show you all of the heroes of every single class. It'll show you, if you select them, all of their abilities. You can just click on them and you'll be able to see it all. And you can see all the exclusive equipments. You can see all of the Halidams, which is what I just explained. And you can see all of the suits or gear that is available to them. So yeah, that is a super fast basic preliminary of the game. I'll go ahead and continue on with playing with the basic character Mini Godson on 590 after progressing a little bit, showing a little bit of the extra, and then more or less just start making a couple videos here and there showing gameplay and daily gameplay. So hope you enjoyed, and until next time, bye.